We have another top story tonight, and that is facing up to the IRS. It is not always easy, I know it, but very soon it will be mandatory for millions of us. And I don't mean coming clean. I mean handing over your face, literally, in a selfie. The feds say that this is a small price to pay to protect our financial life histories from hackers. But is it, though? Starting this summer, taxpayers who need or want to access IRS.gov are going to have to go through a third party and a security screener to prove that they are who they claim to be. The screener is called ID.me, and more than 24 states use it already to process jobless benefits. The process is, in a word, taxing, because apart from all the usual steps that anybody with online banking is certainly familiar with, there is a whole raft of documents to upload, from a birth certificate to a health insurance card to an electric bill. And the company is also even asking to verify the user's cell phone account with the carrier. And then there's the step that really has online privacy advocates red in the face: a mandatory live selfie, which has to match the photos or photo in the documents that you just uploaded, because if it doesn't, There is still hope, however. If a 3-hour wait for a live video chat with a so-called, quote, trusted referee counts as hope. Before I go on, I want to make clear that none of this is necessary to file your tax return or to pay your taxes owed. It's only needed to use the IRS website, IRS.gov, which most of us really never do, but accountants say we really should. That's where we can find our payment histories, for instance, and also the readouts of the income that our employers report paying to us. The IRS says it hears all your complaints, people, and is looking for a less intrusive set of alternatives, but it also says this, and I'm going to read straight from them. The lack of funding for IRS IT modernization has made it impossible for the IRS to invest in state-of-the-art technology. The IRS today uses third-party service providers to validate the identification of individuals who are attempting to improperly gain access to taxpayer accounts. So they include ID.me, which is compliant with the National Institute of Security Technology standards and used by multiple agencies across the government. That's what the IRS says. And with that, I welcome my guests. Derek Riley is a computer science professor at the Milwaukee School of Engineering, and Evan Greer is deputy director of Fight for the Future, a group devoted to, quote, defending our most basic rights in the digital age. Welcome to both of you. Okay, Derek, I'm going to begin with you. Tell me a little bit about what the threat to the system is really meant to defend against. Like, how bad is it? How vulnerable is all of our special information and our tax info and our data? And why do we really need to protect it with our facial images?
Yeah, so this problem is actually as old as time. So really all the IRS is trying to do is really protect our sensitive information. Our social security number and those sorts of things are some of our most private information. And so they're trying to find ways to balance the protection of that information with security. And this is always a push and pull. If you want more security, it takes more layers and more challenges to be able to protect the information. So many people have gotten used to unlocking their cell phones with their faces. And so this is sort of an attempt to make it easier for us to make it through these authentication steps that exist. But in reality, we have really sensitive information. So you have to be really careful to ensure that if you are going to get into your IRS account, it actually is you. And so that's really why this is a challenging problem. There's very sensitive information, and they're trying to make it convenient to access.
Okay, so Evan, everything that Derek just said makes perfect sense. And then I also feel like, every time I go into my banking on my iPhone, it's my face that gets me in there. And I always feel really good about that, right? Like I feel like nobody else can do that. I also put my face on my driver's license. I put it on my passport. I put it on my work ID. I don't even know what else I put it on. So is this a lot of people freaking out because they haven't really thought through it all?
Unfortunately, no. This is the largest expansion of the U.S. government's use of facial recognition that we know of to date. And it's not just a threat to Americans' privacy and civil liberties, it is a threat to your security, as our other guest was just talking about. We've seen that facial recognition as a verification method is actually easily foiled, sometimes by something as simple as a printed out photo that you hold up to a camera. So this is not actually more secure than more traditional methods like a passcode or providing information about a previous address or a car that you once owned. It's really just a private company that frankly has swindled our government into spending money into giving them data that they then have access to for up to 7.5 years. And in their own privacy policy, they admit that they can share it with other corporations. They have a relationship with Amazon, for example, that they did not disclose, that they were forced to disclose after private employee communications were leaked to the press. So this is a company that we can't trust. And really what we need is a federal investigation into how our federal agencies came to do business with such a shady private company.
So, Derek, I'm going to add one more thing to what Evan just said, and that is that I did not realize this until I did some research on this today, but people of color are actually having a lot more problems with facial recognition technology. It turns out that even the government has data on this that shows the top facial recognition systems misidentify Black people at rates 5 to 10 times higher than that of white people. And when I read that, I think, oh my God. So that's a lot of people who will be stuck on IRS.gov, on that 3-hour wait trying to get through saying, yes, it's me, for Pete's sake.
Absolutely, and it's not just racial disparities. There are age disparities, economic disparities. There are folks who have facial disfigurements who aren't represented appropriately in these populations. The way that these computational models are trained is using large samples of data that cover swaths of the population. And study after study has shown that many of these models use biased samples. So they're basically sampling the data that's available. And if you go out there and look at what's available, you're going to find biases towards folks who are more affluent, folks who have, access to the internet. And those sorts of things are going to ultimately balance and change the way that these algorithms perform. They're going to perform better in certain situations, things they're more familiar with, than other situations. And that inherently disadvantages parts of the population. These algorithms are not well understood or well scrutinized because they typically are owned and operated by private companies. So what ID.me is using is Amazon's recognition technology. And, that's not really open for academic research to scrutinize the real effects that bias can cause with it.
Okay, so Evan, wrap it up for me. If not this system, then yikes, what? Because I actually want something that's going to give me another layer of protection. I thought this would be it.
No, and absolutely. Look, we all want to safeguard our sensitive financial information, our private information, our social security numbers. The reality is the best way to safeguard that is with actual security. And facial recognition is an unproven technology that is plagued by serious issues of bias. And if we want to keep our information safe, the last thing that we want to do is have the federal government working with a shady private company that's collecting a database of our sensitive biometric information. That's a scan of your face. If your credit card leaks, you can get a new credit card number. If a biometric scan of your face is hacked and stolen, you can't get a new face. Using facial recognition at the IRS makes Americans less safe, not more safe.
So I'm going to just button this up with a quick statement that came to CBS from ID.me. They said the most damaging thing that can happen to your privacy is not taking a selfie. It's having somebody get access to your medical records or to your tax information. That selfie is actively preventing a massive amount of identity theft. But I can see what both of you are saying as well. It's not the final answer, certainly here. There's a lot more to it, and I hope to have this conversation in the future with both of you. Thank you, Evan Greer. Thank you, Derek Riley.
Thanks so much.
Still to come.